Hello everyone and welcome back. So today's mini tutorial is in honor of October's Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness. So some of you already know that have been following my channel for a while that I have two special needs boys. But on the journey to get them, we had lost 3 babies of our own. So October is not just Halloween month for me. It's not just a special month because I have fun with Halloween, but it is also a special month because it is actually incredibly common and not talked about enough how 1 in 4 pregnancies and 1 in 4 babies in the first year end in either stillbirth, SIDS, other forms of pregnancy loss. 1 in 4. That's a pretty high percentage. And I had 5 pregnancies and only 2 survived. And I'm not the only one out there like that. I know many women who have gone through loss after loss after loss and could not explain why. They had an unusual condition that was causing the problem. And in my case, it was a severe incompetent cervix. And they were micropreemies that did not survive, with the exception of the last one we lost, which was a ectopic pregnancy, and I had lost my right fallopian tube. So we're going to go ahead and go over what it takes to create this mani, the products used, in honor of all of the babies gone too soon. So we're going to start with the polishes that were used. So these are the base colors by Beetles. And I got it from, I believe it was either Unicorn or Mermaid collection. It was an actual full-blown collection. I got this collection during their Amazon Prime Day sale. So I have this lovely blue and pink glittery and a nice pearly white. It's easier to see, I guess, if I open the bottle. This one's a lot like Frozen, or there's a Sally Hansen polish that's similar to this. And there's LA Colors polishes similar to these. Those of you wondering what the collection looks like, and you had not watched my Prime Day haul video, this is what the collection looks like. It comes in a big container. It's a very big collection. And no, I'm kind of sniffly. I have a small head cold. I don't have it as bad as my husband does, but I have a small head cold going on, so I apologize. And okay, so the plates that I'm not done with polishes. I'm all over the place, guys. I'm sorry. I got sidetracked on my polishes here. Okay, so I use Blackjack from Queen. And you can just use whatever black stamping polish you want. I used Unity Galore from Sally Hansen Insta-Dry. Blue Skies from Color Vibe. Don't think this one has a name. No, this is a lovely shade of pink from LA Colors. It does not have a name. We have Serene Steel from Maybelline and Ballerina Pink from Maybelline. I used Cherry Blossom and Sky Blue from Varnell. There's the solid gel polishes. I used Beetles Top Coat and McCart's Nail Art Foil Glue. Okay, so now we can get into the plates. So I used Maniology's M239, Maniology's M153, Maniology's M479. And I used a Varnail 3D mold. And this one is Butterflies, and the name for it is JT-003. I got a little bit of gel stuck in the lettering at the bottom. I need to clean out. Okay, so you're also going to need a needle nose pliers, not pliers, but tweezers. And you're going to need some kind of silicone pusher tool in order to push down the homemade sticker. You're going to want a clean-up brush of some sort. You're also going to want a detail brush. And you're going to want something kind of like this, a nice silicone applicator. You're going to want isopropyl alcohol, acetone, cotton balls, cotton swabs, and either a lint roller, scotch tape, or a sticky stamping station of some sort, and your scraper card and stamper. So we're going to go ahead and go in with the middle finger first. This is the one with the script on it, making it pretty easy to start with. So I'm going to take the I, the uppercase I over here. I'm going to put it in the upper left-hand corner of the nail. Take the lowercase a, leave a gap in between the I and the A, the lowercase m, I want the 1, there's my lowercase I, I'm going to have to clean the plate because the N. The lowercase n got scraped into, so it's not clean. Now I need the 4. And then we're going to go in and fill in any spot that didn't pick up nicely out of that with the black stamping polish. And that's all we used this plate for. Okay. So I'm going to grab my detail brush. I'm going to take some stamping polish, some black stamping polish, and I'm going to go in on the letters and the numbers that did not fill in nicely. You can do this before applying it to the nail. Well, it's on the stamper if you're not as good at filling in after it's already on the nail. There we have it. So that nail is complete. We're going to go ahead and go in with the next one. We're going to go in with the thumb. And we're going to go ahead and pick up this lovely image right here. Okay. So now we're going to grab Unity Galore, Ballerina Pink, and Serene Steel. So while we are filling this in, I'm going to do a little bit of background on my losses. So we discovered too late with our daughter, that's our only daughter, that the problem we were having was an incompetent cervix. We lost our oldest son very suddenly at 15 weeks, and we didn't know why. And the only forewarning I had was some spotting ahead of time, making things a little bit confusing as to what was actually going on. Because we couldn't find anything wrong. Just a couple days prior, the heartbeat was fine, everything was fine. It was just a little bit of spotting. And I went out for a walk. I've been trying to stay healthy. We were young, you know, we didn't have a lot of money, but we wanted a family, and we had decided that we were going to make it work no matter what. And no matter what had happened. And just less than an hour after I got back from my walk, I had sudden excruciating pain and then just delivered out of nowhere. And I wasn't sure what had happened. You know, 15 weeks, I wasn't exactly sure if what I'd lost. I didn't realize that I knew that the amniotic sac had broke, but I didn't know that the baby was gone too. I couldn't find the baby and the mess of blood and everything. So I did not know what exactly had happened. until we went to the hospital and the placenta had not detached properly and I was hemorrhaging. And so I'm switching to Ballerina Pink now. So my husband, my fiance at the time, rushed me to the ER, and that's when we found out that the baby was gone, and they needed to finish removing the placenta, and I may need a blood transfusion. So that was the first one that we lost, and he would be 13 now had he lived. And I went on an IUD birth control, and I started having, I could feel the IUD, and it was starting to drive me crazy. And they kept telling me it was placed correctly, there was nothing wrong, they couldn't find anything wrong, but I could feel it, and I was terrified I would lose my fertility because I knew people who had had problems with it, and I'd heard way too many horror stories, and my luck was always towards the bad, not the good. So if anything that could go wrong, it was going to go wrong for me, and that's just how my life had always been. And I didn't trust it. So I had them remove it, and we had decided we were going to try again a year later. And got pregnant almost right away. We figured the first one was a fluke. It couldn't have been the same problem my grandmother had had. What are the odds of that? Apparently pretty high. We were on bed rest and keeping a very close eye on it because of my family history and the sudden loss that none of us could explain. None of us knew what caused it. So we just had a hunch, and we kept a close eye on it. And everything was going well with the bed rest, and everything was going well with the pregnancy up until 19 weeks. And I did have a little bit of spotting around 15 weeks, but I didn't lose her. I did not lose my daughter, and at that time anyways. We got to 19 weeks, and then I got up that morning right after hitting 19 weeks, and I went to the bathroom and I realized I'd lost my mucus plug. And for any of you that know, for the males, obviously you would not have experienced this, but if you've ever had children with someone, you may already know what this is. Or for any of you ladies that have had children would know what this is. It's a sign that you're in labor. I didn't feel the contractions, but I was contracting at that time. And I was in active labor and I did not know it. But that was the first clue to tip me off that I was in active labor, and I called my doctor and they rushed me in for an emergency ultrasound, and sure enough, I was in active labor and dilated quite a bit. They rushed me to Erlanger. Well, they sent me to Erlanger, but my husband drove me, and like I said, fiance at the time. And it was a big rush to get me there, and we lived about an hour away. All right, we'll go ahead and place our image on the thumbnail. So let's go ahead and move into the next plate, and we're going to fill that in. So we're going to take M153 for this image right here. So when we got there, and they finally got me to a room, got me hooked up. My blood pressure was so high they thought I was going to have a stroke or a heart attack from all the stress of the situation. It was incredibly terrifying. And they tried to do a cerclage, and that's where they stitch the cervix closed. And there wasn't enough cervix left to stitch closed. Alright, so this is where we're going to take the pink from LA Colors, this one right here, and Blue Skies from Color Vibe. So we didn't get into surgery till the next morning, but they had me on complete bed rest. I was not allowed to leave my bed. And when they attempted to put the stitches in and they would not hold, they would just continually tear through. I was continued to be on the same kind of bed rest. I was not allowed to get up. I was not allowed to even sit up. They had the bed elevated feet up and head down. And I was like that for 2 weeks before I went into labor again. And delivered her at 21 weeks, 2 days. She lived 3 hours. She was born June 27th, 2012. And she would be a preteen. And the oldest was lost. He was born January 29th, 2011. So, I had, this is the pinky nail, guys. So I had a few years on an implant birth control before we decided to try again. We bought our house. We got ourselves prepared because we knew that once we did have kids, if we were able to, that we wouldn't be able to afford to do a down payment on a house or anything like that later, that we would need to do that beforehand. And so we did that. We found a doctor, found a specialist, and we had both a high-risk OB out of town because we had to go to bigger cities to get the proper obstetric care that I would need. And we had to go through maternal fetal medicine to get a cerclage right away in the pregnancy, the beginning of the second trimester. And we got our now 8-year-old. And when we started trying for our second one, we had an unexpected, we had a loss. My father-in-law passed away when our 8-year-old was just a little over a year old. And we were actively trying for another one at that time. And we did successfully get pregnant, and right before my first ultrasound, literally it was the same week, and it was also the day before our daughter's birthday. I lost our final one that we had lost. I woke up, I went to the bathroom. All of a sudden, I felt a very sharp pain, and sharp enough it made me throw up. I barely was able to get myself off the floor and pull my toddler out of his crib and rush to the emergency room. I thought it was my appendix. I didn't even think I had lost the baby. That never crossed my mind. And they wouldn't tell me anything until they shipped me out of town to the hospital that my OB was affiliated with. So this is the McCart's foil glue that I'm putting on the pink and the blue nail. So she tells me as she's prepping me for surgery that I had an ectopic. I've got the top coat here. I'm going to put on the other 3 nails. She told me that I had an ectopic and that it had burst. And the baby was gone. There was no saving the baby at that point. So I had to go into emergency surgery and have everything in that area removed. And the pain was massive blood buildup from my tube bursting. Thankfully it had walled itself off because the hospital in my area did not treat me well. They didn't even have a surgeon or an ultrasound tech on hand when I went in. They didn't have anybody of what I would have needed at that time. So I was almost exactly 8 weeks when I lost the last one. So it was it was quite a wild ride. I didn't expect that. Usually when you have a fertility problem, it's only ever one. And we'd already figured out the one that I had. So to have an ectopic in that mess, and they never did figure out why. It just happened. Though I suspect it may have been due to the IUD that I kept telling my previous OB I could feel. So we don't know. We'll never have confirmation. But we decided after that we would give one last try when we were ready. And when we did, whether it was successful or not, that was the final attempt. My body was wearing out. It was not working well anymore. It was becoming exceptionally dangerous. I almost died with every pregnancy before that. So we had decided that we were done after that. One last one. And we have our wonderful 5-year-old now. So it took a lot to get to where we are now. And I've heard so many women say the same thing, that it took a lot to get the babies that they had. And they went through a lot of losses. So I'm taking the sky blue from Varnell and I'm pushing it into the mold. So that is my story. That is what happened to that's what happened to the babies that we had lost. We went through a lot of medical and a lot of fighting to have them. And it nearly tore my marriage apart in this journey. To have them, it was not particularly easy. And it was a fight to have them in so many ways. I can't even begin to explain the amount of struggle we went through. The mental and emotional roller coaster. And I hear this a lot. I didn't know this either. I didn't know the statistics. I didn't know that it was so common. And a lot of providers like to try to shrug it off too. Like it's not as common as it is. But it's very common. And just as infertility these days is also very common. I don't know why it is that way now, but it is exceptionally common. It happens all the time. So we're going to give this a scrape, just a gentle one. Just don't want to pull the gel out of it. I'm going to do some preemptive cleanup around the images. To make cleanup around it easier later. Okay. I don't know how well you guys can see this, but this is what it looks like. Cure that for 60 seconds. So, it has been quite the wild ride though. And explaining to the doctor that thought I was just your typical hormonal mom, because it wasn't my normal doctor that delivered my now 8-year-old, why I was bawling my eyes out. And it wasn't just hormones when I finally heard that first cry. Hi, Topaz. Hey, buddy. Yeah. Hey, buddy. Mama's got runny nose syndrome. Can you be my lap kitty? Here's my good boy. Here's my good boy. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and pay the cat tax. We got Topaz today. He's being kind of clingy as my old man. Yes, he's a sweet boy. He's such a sweet baby. And he's been with us through all of this, except for the first one. He was born the same year as our oldest was lost. And we got him that same year. Him and his brother both, Topaz and Peach. Here's my babies. Yes. You've been through a lot of changes, huh, buddy? Yeah. You have. Been through a lot of changes. Okay, Mama kind of needs her lap back, though. So I can get this out of the lamp. Okay? Hey, sweet baby. You're prancing around my lap. That's not helping. I don't want your cat hair in there, baby. Topaz. Come on. Sit still, baby. Thank you. You might get squished by my belly. Alright, so we're going to do some cleanup on the molds. Thank you, Topaz, for moving. And it's just to remove some of the excess gel. And I'm probably going to lose the antennae off of this one, which is fine. I can go, this is, oh, nope, I'm going to have to redo the whole thing. Dang it. I took the whole thing up. That sometimes happens. I'm just going to have to go in and redo the whole thing. Go figure. Well, at least we have the pink one. These things can be kind of finicky when you're trying to clean off the excess gel. That kind of colors in ways that are not pleasant. I guess I probably should have just left it at that and not scraped it, because sometimes scraping it takes too much. I think that's what happened here. It took too much. Yep, there we go. The pink one's good. So what we'll do is just finish this pink one off, and then we'll do the blue one again. So for those of you who have experienced the loss of a child, my heart goes out to you. I know exactly how much that hurts. And though I don't talk about it much anymore, it's something that crosses my mind every day. There's not a single day that goes by that I don't think about the children we don't have with us. And we go out every year, because unfortunately the other two don't have graves, but our daughter does. They didn't have anything to get to bury, so we don't have graves. We were never given that option on the other two, but we go out every year on our birthday, and it's a family event. We take the kids out there, and we replace the flowers on our headstone. And this has been a tradition that we have successfully done every single year, except for the year that I lost the youngest of the 3 angel babies. And that was only because I was in the hospital. We have made it a point to go out and visit her at least that one time a year. And it being the same day, almost the same exact day as the youngest angel baby, we just kind of celebrate both of them at the same time. And my oldest His birthday is extremely close to, my oldest living is extremely close to the oldest brother, the very first one. So we don't, we just kind of celebrate it at the same time. And then our now 5-year-old is the only one who wasn't born around the others. So we don't have any sorrow around his like we do the others, but okay, so the pink butterfly goes on the blue nail. So it's a hard one. Okay, be very careful when removing it from the mold as to not tear it. So this is where you're going to need the actual pusher part that I was talking about, because we're going to want to put that down as flush with the nail as we can possibly go with that. It's like a sticker. And we don't want any weird parts sticking up. Excuse me. My nose is just super running right now. And no, it's not just my emotions, guys. I do have a head cold, and it has been quite the struggle. There, now I get the cat hair off of my mold. Try to keep this as much in the butterfly as I can. And I'm not going to scrape it this time, because I find I scrape it if the gel has a thinner viscosity, but this stuff is really thick and it doesn't like to scrape nicely. Now when I'm using my thinner gels, totally different story, but this stuff is thick and it don't like to scrape nice. So, clean up around the edges a little bit. Tell you what though, this solid gels make amazing gel paints. And don't get me wrong, it does still hurt, the loss, but it's not the same as what it was when it happened. I don't get the same level of emotional as I have in the past, and that has a lot to do with the fact that I do have my rainbow babies / sunshine in the case of my 8-year-old. He gained that title when we lost the last one that we lost, and he is technically the middle child, and he knows this. We have discussed this with him many times, and he loves picking out his sister's flowers every year. And now our youngest loves helping with that, and this year they both picked out flowers. They both helped clear up the old ones that were from the previous year and that were all sun bleached and just destroyed by the elements. And we had a nice outing, and it's about 30 minutes away from where we live, so it's a decent drive. We'll go out, we'll go pick flowers, we'll change them out, and then generally we'll have a nice meal together and before going home. We make it a family affair in that manner. If my husband's at work, he sometimes is able to get a break if he's in the area and join in. Sometimes he's not, but he tries to every year. It's not always possible, but he does try. I know he gets the short end of the stick with that one. Being the one that's actually producing the money for the household. It's hard on him to not be able to do that 100% of the time. And you know, our family has suffered a lot of losses, but we work together, and we're a very tight-knit group, the four of us, and we can be pretty dysfunctional, but we're my favorite phrase, and that is we're a very functional, dysfunctional family. And we love each other a lot. And it makes it hard raising the boys. We just want to shower them with love and every nice thing that we can, but, you know, we can't just let them grow up to be a problem in society later by not disciplining them when they need disciplining and not teaching them the things that they need to know. And as tempting as it is to not do anything other than just shower them with love, we are doing our best to raise good men one day, hopefully. They are both well-mannered and kind-hearted. So I hope that it continues to stay that way as they grow up. And we'll see. They have been an amazing blessing and the biggest challenge of my life. It did feel a bit of a slap in the face when I lost the last one, and it did feel like a bit of a slap in the face when I discovered that both of them had lots of medical conditions, and both of the living ones we've had a lot of struggles. Our oldest is finally healthy, and we finally got his ADHD diagnosis because we finally got him physically healthy. It took way, way longer than I feel like it should have to get to that point, but we did. We got him healthy, we got him better, and now we are doing well. We've had a lot less struggles with him. And the youngest is progressing. He's ridiculously smart. They both are. They're both extremely intelligent and advanced. And okay, so I'm putting the foil glue on this, just like last time. I don't know if I mentioned it last time or not, but putting foil glue on. And then we will cure for 60 seconds. Now that we're done clearing up all of the extra cat hair everywhere because the topaz getting in my lap. Oh my goodness. So it's been a wild ride though. And there are times where I feel like I would change how we did things, not a lot, but at least a little bit. And then there are times where I look back and I said, no, I wouldn't change it. But it just depends on how my day's going, really. I have been through an exuberant amount of bad things within my life. And this was just one of the many things. Losing 3 babies was just one of many things, and it's been a lot to heal mentally from all of it. And I know that my husband and I have struggled for years to heal from all these losses and to work together and raise these boys. And I have that insensitive question all the time. When are you going to try for a girl? I had. Many times. I only got one. I got one girl. And she didn't live very long. And then I got boys. But I'm not having any more. I'm done. My body is way past done with it. My body has said enough is enough. What was gestational diabetes ended up eventually developing into full-blown type 2 diabetes. And I don't have my body just can't handle anymore. I don't have the physical capability anymore. And with 2 special needs boys, I don't have the mental capacity anymore, or the emotional capacity to bring another child into this world. So I had, just a few months after my youngest was born, I had my remaining tube tied. I was done. I did not want any more. My husband agreed that we were done. And so I got snipped. It was the best thing for the family. It was the best thing for me. And if it was to undo itself and I was to get pregnant again, I'm not gonna lie, I'd be pretty mad. Because I know that the mental instability I would have from having another one. And I went through massive postpartum depression with both, but the first one was actually triggered by the birth control I went on afterwards, after I had him. And I did not know that was the case until he was about 6 months old. So, yeah, no, I have no desire to have any more. I honestly wanted my tubes removed, but my doctor wouldn't do it. So, it do not want any more. That's not a stress I want to go through again. And the odds of it being a normal, healthy baby is pretty slim, unfortunately, just due to the sheer amount of different medications that are required for me to even carry to term, and all of the genetic conditions that we found out afterwards in both our families. It's not worth it. Go ahead and put our top coat on around our butterflies. So enough of the sorrow and my sad, sad story, because it is a very depressing story. On the upside, my wonderful 8-year-old had joined cross country this year and had his first meet, and he did so amazing. He stayed focused, which is something he had been having trouble with, and he got the best time he'd ever gotten. And I could not be prouder of that boy for how hard he worked. And he was so excited for his reward afterwards. And he had so much fun. And I'm glad that he enjoyed it, and that he actually got to participate with his teammates, and it was really nice to see him in a sport and having fun and being healthy. And it took way too many years to get to that point, but we got him there. And it was a really nice thing to see, though we had the aftermath of disrupting the youngest's routine and him losing his mind because his normal routine got messed with. That was fun. That was real fun. Okay. So, there you have it, folks. That is how I created this pregnancy and infant loss awareness Mani. The I am 1 in 4. And there's a lot of significance to this. A lot of significance. And I wish we had more research and more testing done earlier, before even going into the reproductive phase of actually trying for kids. Because I feel like so many more babies could have been saved if there was more research and more preventative testing done early on. But it just doesn't exist yet. And maybe one day we will. Who knows? But until then, I continue to support all of the parents out there who unfortunately had the struggle of losing a baby either in utero or, like me, micro preemies, or stillbirth, or SIDS, or any of the other tragedies that tend to happen that causes the loss of a child at any age. It's not easy. So that is all I have for you guys. For this tutorial, I do have an announcement to make. I did finally get my hands on the Steamboat Willie plate. It was supposed to arrive today, guys, but it did not. It got delayed. And so instead of getting Steamboat Willie, you guys got this.
But I did plan on doing this anyways. I did not last year because I just had such limited time on Halloween manis. And that's part of the reason why I haven't done pedicures recently. I've got so many mani designs that I am coming out with that I can't keep up with both matching pedicures to go with the manis. But I will get the Steamboat Willie done, and my MXM box, my Mani-Me box should come in this weekend, so I will have the unboxing, because that was also really delayed. That one's also like really behind. Hurricane Helena has really done a number on this, guys. So I should have that for you guys next week as well. I should have the unboxing, swatch comparisons, the mani that goes with the box, and I don't know if I'm going to do Steamboat Willie for next week or the following week. It's going to be somewhere in that ballpark. With as much stuff as I've got going on, it may be just multiple releases next week and just all of it. I have not decided on that front, and that is why Tuesday was a mani tutorial, as well as this Thursday video being mani tutorials, because there's so many different manis. I just don't have the time to put in for all of it, and I've only got half the kids' costumes. I still got to bring the oldest in for him to go and pick his costume out. Like, it's just been chaotic, crazy. I can't even keep my head on straight anymore. I swear. There's so much going on. So I'm sorry it took so long to get Steamboat Willie. Like I said, the last time I had placed an order, they didn't have it. That it was sold out, and I did manage to get do some sets of nails on friends and earn some cash flow to make another order, and I did. So I made sure that I went in and I checked for Steamboat Willie first, and it happened to be back. So I got my hands on it this time. And I'm gonna do research on color schemes and things like that, and get a design together for you guys for the 1 year anniversary. I have had this channel with videos up, not just watching other people's videos. I've been making videos for you guys for 1 year now, and that was the request for the 1 year. So the 1 year mani will be the Steamboat Willie, and I will get it put together for you guys. The Mani-Me box, I will also get a mani tutorial for that. And I think that's everything. No, that's not everything, because, drum roll, the Christmas Advent Calendar box will be coming out this month, guys. So if you have not been saving up, I would save up now, because the box of night sold out less than 24 hours after launch. And there was some talk in the Maniology Facebook group. Some of what caused this was scalpers. We all have our favorite words to say about scalpers. You know, a lot of us are not a fan of them. I can understand the risk involved, and I can understand some people, that's how they make a living. It is infuriating for the rest of us, though, that, you know, can't afford to snatch these things up the second they launch, and some of us just don't have the money until a week or two later. it's not fair to the rest of us when scalpers do that crap, and I'm not a fan of it. I understand why some people do it. Some people are just greedy. Some people actually need the money, and that's a way that they make money, but it's not right. So, you know, be prepared to, if you're wanting the box, if you even remotely think you want the box, be prepared. Have money saved. It'll be roughly the same price, around 100 to 120 bucks. I believe it's around 100. Towards the middle to end of this month. When I know the exact date, I will let you guys know. But currently, I don't have the exact date. That is something to keep your eyes peeled for. And subscribe to their newsletter. If they will give announcements through that as well. And like I said, just save up if you're interested and if you're remotely interested in it, because these things sell quick, and it seems like every year it's getting quicker and quicker. So, yeah. I'm not looking forward to the stress of that day, because I'm going to have to be really quick about it to make sure I get it and show you guys what's in it. And hopefully it doesn't sell out within the first, I think Dev and Tiana had said that it sold out within the first 14 hours of its launch. That's big. That's really big. So keep that in mind, guys. It's coming up, and it's coming up fast, and you're gonna blink and it's gonna be here. So if you're not prepared, get yourself prepared. And that is all, guys. That is all I have to say, and I hope you all have a good morning, afternoon, evening, night, whatever it may be, wherever you are at while you're watching this video. And until next time, guys, thank you all for watching. Bye.